So without further ado, I'll get the man himself. It's John LeGrange. So let me just figure out how we add people here. Here he is here. And that's now, John, if you want to hop on. John assures me his internet's good, so let's hope so. There he is.
Thanks. Can you hear me?
Yeah, all good.
Okay, that's better. It just took a second to settle down there.
You look like you're lying back in a sun lounger.
Yeah, I'm just chilling. I have to have a couch in the shed, you know.
All right, okay. Very good, very good. You've got a funny accent. What part of County Down are you from, just in case anybody doesn't know you?
Very far south, just a little bit closer to Africa than Northern Ireland anyway.
Yeah, it's a Cork accent, is it?
Yeah.
So if you can't,
Yeah.
John's from South Africa. So we'll have an exotic guest on this evening.
That's it.
Yeah.
Been called a lot of things. Exotic is a new one, that's for sure.
So tell us a bit about yourself, a little bit about yourself, John. We'll move on to your cars in a bit, but so you're sorry about that. You're from South Africa originally, but you've been in Ireland a brave while now.
Yeah, geez. 16, 17 years? Something like that anyway.
Yeah.
Long enough that it's home now.
Yeah, that's it. The roots are planted,
So,
here to stay.
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 16 years ago, what age are you?
33,
33.
I think. 33, 34, somewhere around there.
Moved over here in your teenage years then?
Yeah. So my mother moved over initially just to make a bit of a change, and
Yeah.
I came along, and yeah, been here ever since.
Like that. So just moving on to the cars, really. So you grew up in South Africa. What was things like over there with the cars, the culture, the scene, stuff like that there? Did you see much of it that when you were that age, or were you not interested at that stage?
Not really. I was always into the cars. The uncles always had good cars, Jetta CLIs, Opel Kadett, GSIs, stuff like that. There was always something quirky and fast. Like it even spread as far as Cortina pickups, a V8, one of those, one of my uncles had. And so cars were always in my blood. And yeah, that's kind of, it just spiraled out of control from there.
Yeah. So you moved over here, you're fairly grown up. You get your test. Are your friends around you into cars, or?
At that stage, not really. Again, I suppose I started to join more and more forums and things like that. Flag drivers back in those days, and GTI and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, started off in a little Fiat Seicento Schumacher edition. I thought it was the greatest thing in the world.
Has a taste now?
Yeah, it's I wasn't exactly a small man to get into one of those, that's for sure.
Yeah. So right, how did you get into you're heavily into the Volkswagen Audi scene? Where did it all kick off?
So,
did you bump into Paul Glenn in a pub one night or what? Or?
Close enough. Met a few lads that were into Volkswagens, and obviously I kind of got to a stage where I wanted to move on from the little Fiat that I had, and Polo GTI came up, 6N2, and yeah, from there it was always Volkswagens. I ventured into a few other bits and Subarus, but never stuck with them. So yeah, Volkswagen Audi from there on. So Polo GTI, Ibiza Cupra. There's other bits and pieces in between, Mark III TDIs and that kind of stuff. But Mark III VR6 supercharged then, and yeah, just kept going deeper and deeper into it. Then
I think one of my first memories, or one of your first cars, I think, was the black VR6 supercharged, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, its heart still lives on. Someday it'll maybe see the road again, but
Yeah.
the shell is long gone.
Yeah. As many Mark threes are, but you don't say that out loud in
Yeah.
front of Connor, like, you know.
Oh, that's all Glennon gets. I mean, he's just going to have to sweep his out of the shed someday because it's never going to come out any other way.
Yeah, he's doing some extensive welding on the Mark III at the moment, doesn't
Yeah, that's the other one. I don't know. The man has a problem. That's the only way to put it. I don't know how someone could love rust that much.
he? Yeah, I think I don't know what it is, but the Volkswagen scene especially, there seems to be certain people out and they're like magpies. They see something new and just go and buy it.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like it's
Yeah.
just move on, buy more Mark threes. I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
Team Med will always have your back.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, that's for sure.
as you're saying about the forums and stuff like that, there, like maybe younger people wouldn't understand, not understand, but wouldn't appreciate the importance of the forums back at the turn of the century. There, you know, like early 2000s, forums was your means of contact. There was no Facebook. There was none of that to carry on. So, and they're a great archive.
Exactly.
You know, they're a great archive
Yeah,
for information. They're so important for meets and all that sort of stuff. You know, so they were.
yeah, you couldn't go, like, I mean, I spent endless hours on forums. I'm sure most were the same. Like,
Yeah.
serious friendships made from them as well. Like, it's a shame that they're gone now because they were a great way to archive stuff and find
Would
things in future again.
say that's how you got into the VAG scene then, through the forums?
Going from there.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Right. So the first cars you've just said about them there. Let's get walking around your garage then and see what's going on at the minute with you.
okay, let's figure out how you do this.
I just hit the wee
Ah,
flip button.
there you go.
Well, there's the pride of the flip.
So, yeah, that's the baby or biggest pain in the arse. I don't know, whichever way you want to put it. But yeah, that's the current one, and then obviously some others, but we'll come back to them.
Yeah.
That's like I say, that's the baby B5S4, in the best color, obviously, Noggy blue. Yeah, air suspension. Yeah, just standard enough interior at the moment, but that'll all be changing a couple of bits soon enough, hopefully.
How long have you had the S4 now? It must be a good 4 or 5 years, is it?
Yeah, 5, I think it is. I was actually only thinking about that yesterday, and I think it's about 5.
And was it completely standard when you got it?
Yeah, completely standard and a jazz blue front bumper because apparently jazz blue was close enough to Nagaro blue. I don't know how that worked, but yeah. The owner that damaged the bumper ended up buying a brand new one from Audi, paid 1,700 euros for a bumper, and then got painted the wrong color because, yeah, I don't know. People are strange, I suppose.
Yeah. So you're running Airlift, and then is that OZs you have still on?
Yeah, OZ, F1 Super Racing or something like that they were called. I love them, other than the fact of the multi-stud fitment. Everyone thinks they're reps. They're not. But people are set in their ways, I suppose, and that's about the only thing that drives me mad on them.
It sits so nice on them wheels. The wheels really, really suit it. So they.
Yeah, the Merc ones were good before, but just I wanted something different. Wanted bigger brakes and bits and pieces. Yeah, they came up with the right money. We'll see.
Yeah.
I kind of want to get stuck into a few other bits and pieces, and I've turbos and the whole lot to do on this, so it needs to be pulled apart soon.
So, have you any mods, exhaust, intake, that sort of stuff, just at the moment?
Yeah, full exhaust, 3-inch downpipes, and a single box 2.5-inch twin system.
Right.
So she's loud. No cats or any of that tomfoolery, you know. You don't need any of that stuff.
Now that's not Ludgate distillery in the boot. That's actually your air setup, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the Air. Decided to
Very
go with
tight.
something slightly different.
Who,
And Chris Darragh, I don't know if you know him, with the he's gonna love this, the Primer Grey S4. He did that for me, so he's not bad at it, all right. But just something different, you know.
yeah.
So have to.
Touch the cars, you do.
What's that?
You got to put your personal touch to cars.
That's exactly it. You know, everyone's trying to find different things to do, and it is so hard at times. But yeah, we'll keep doing little bits and hopefully put personal touches to it at some point. If only money grew on trees, it'd be great.
Modifying cars keeps us all sane at the minute, I think.
Yeah, that is very true. It could be a lot worse.
So if people watching don't know B5 S4s, they're mid 300 standard, basically, aren't they, John?
No, standard were 265.
That all I think
yeah. RSs were 340, 380, something around there anyway.
But essentially the same engines apart from it's the KO3 and the S4, KO4 and the RS4.
KO4 and the RS4, yeah. I think they had a slightly stronger block in the RS4, and a couple of other little changes. But yeah, essentially the same 2.7 bi-turbo.
Bigger intercoolers, I think is.
Yeah, bigger intercoolers. So that's all sitting on the shelf, waiting to go on at the moment. Set of Wagner intercoolers, KO4 hybrids,
very nice,
etc., etc. So
some 400 or 500 brake then.
Yeah, I'm hoping with the hybrids for about 480, 550, somewhere around there. You can push them a bit more, but it's a standard block with 192,000 miles or something on it. So
yeah, them engines take it anyway.
yeah. So well, I hope so. I'm saying that now, and the first thing that'll happen is it'll blow up.
Do you remember before the absolute tsunami of Golf Rs that arrived on the scene that a lot of guys in the Irish scene ran tuned S4s?
Yeah, there was a good few around.
Yeah.
I suppose in the south, the only thing was that the tax killed them. I mean, when you're paying €1,200 a year for tax is a bit excessive. So yeah.
Paul Glennon says, surprised it hasn't blown up already.
Well, to be fair, all it does is get abused, so I'm surprised as well. But why change any of that?
In general, it's been enough for you, would you say?
Yeah, weird little things like oil leaks, and particularly recently an oil leak that I was chasing for months. I mean, I changed rocker cover gaskets, any other gasket I could get to, sump off, and in the end Glennon started poking around underneath it and found that there was an oil pressure switch that was leaking, and I felt like an absolute idiot then, but
not so bad.
Could be worse, I suppose. Yeah. So but yeah, other than that, it's been pretty damn reliable considering. It gets through the MOT every year, sometimes surprisingly, because I suppose everyone thinks to themselves that it's not going to pass, or you know the car maybe and see bits that other people don't. But yeah, it's done me well so far.
Yeah. MOTs down south, are they still running as normal, or what way are they working? Do you know?
I don't know. I might know a bit better, but I know they were kind of off for a while, but I think most of them are kind of back to normal now. Similar to the MOT centres here, you have to wait outside and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. No, not so bad. Lovely car, absolutely lovely. It's one of my favourite cars when I go to a car show to look around it. Like it's just, it's got the
Thanks very
colour,
much.
got the looks. And, I think everybody would agree it's a cracking car. So it is. So,
Yeah.
what are you daily driving then? There's Tiguan, isn't it?
Tiguan, lowered 20s, DSG 4Motion. Really just a comfortable motorway cruiser.
Yeah.
So it's it does me.
That was the daily that's meant to stay standard, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. It started off that way, and then it was a case of, oh well, I have the wheels sitting in the shed and
Yeah.
etc. So it's another car that's done me very well. It's only been serviced. I've had it just over a year now, going about a year and 6 months, and I think it's done 35 or 40,000 miles in that time. So
Yeah.
it's doing well.
Good.
And another one that just pretty much gets abused, but yeah.
Keep them
Probably not the ideal thing to put 20s on a daily, but
you need to put 20s in M arches.
yeah, that's for sure. I still think it needs to go lower, but that's as low as those coilovers will go. So maybe air next. We'll see.
Yeah. Sure. Why not?
That's it. That's it. So
See a rather nice Mark II in the edge of the camera there.
yeah, two
Or
of them
pair.
actually.
There's one.
Some will say that I like blue cars.
Yeah. It's a trait with you.
Yeah.
You had the red G40 though.
Yeah, had that for a little while. That was a bit of a I'm not a red car person either, but I couldn't turn it down at the time. So
Yeah. There's not too many of them left. So these two Golfs then, tell us a little bit about them then.
the one on the left here is a project that started, I don't even know how many years ago, probably 8 or 9. I mean, this thing has traveled the country just sitting in people's sheds, including yours at one stage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Every time the yard, people were going, "Who's that? What's that? What's he doing with it?" And I was going,
yeah.
deal.
Yeah. So supercharged VR6 and that came out of my black Mark III. Yeah, just always loved the Mark II, and when the 8 valve blew spectacularly, I decided to put the VR6 into it because the Mark III was kind of at that stage where it needed a lot of welding and stuff like that, and I wasn't really in love with that car, I'd say. But yeah, it's getting there.
Yeah.
So
Running,
someday.
I think that is running, isn't it now?
It was. I haven't tried it now in a couple of months, but we did get it running. It was running, not at the stage of driving yet, but yeah, running. It's got. To be fair, it's very, very close. I just need to put a little bit more time into it.
The old too many projects thing, you know.
That's exactly it. And then, I mean, in between that, I bought a Mark V and stuff like that as well. So yeah, I just keep buying new projects when I'm not finished the old ones. But I
Connor,
think that's probably it.
Charger, is that running?
That's a V9F.
That's VF Engineering.
Yeah, VF Engineering, yeah. So
that'll probably get you high 2s with that setup.
it's got a smaller pulley and things like that. Originally, when I bought the Mark III, he had a dyno printout for I think 320-ish.
That's really
on a good healthy engine. So I'm hoping about the same again. So that's got a slightly smaller pulley again now, and yeah, it should be nice in a little Mark II.
Yeah, definitely. Connor McCann. Connor McCann asked, "How did you kill the 8 valve in it?"
I actually don't know. It's a high mileage. It's I think 202,000 miles on it, if I recall correctly. Yeah, you can't really see that, but I was heading to Cork one day to go and pick up a friend, and coming out of the toll booth, I gave it death, and it didn't like that. Well, I literally gave it death because it died. Um, so yeah,
Left the building.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, it did well getting to 202,000 miles, I suppose. But yeah, I suppose it was an ideal opportunity at the time to try to get the VR6 into it. Again, that never really materialized, but I suppose life gets in the way at times and things like that, you know?
Yeah, afraid it does. Afraid it does. So you've got that one, the VR supercharged. Then what's your long-term plans? I suppose you'd say for the one beside it. Just it's sitting there and it'll get round to it when you get round to it, sort of thing, or
Pretty much. The shell, it's pretty much a bare shell. It came up very cheap through a friend's friend, and like by very cheap, I mean, I think it was like 150 or 200 quid. Um, I couldn't turn it down for that. It's a good solid shell. It needs paint, but yeah, at least no rot and things like that. So that was really the most important bit.
now it's getting silly, like, isn't it?
Yeah, I was only saying to one of the lads yesterday that Mark II parts prices are just going through the roof. I should have finished the car when I initially started it because things were a lot more attainable then than they are now.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully someday get some ultraviolet Recaros like you have in your Corrado.
Yeah.
If anyone would like to liberate them, I provide a completely cash in hand, completely confidential service. Nigel will never know. So, yeah, someday. Yeah, that's it. I can deny it, don't worry.
Are they both bright blue metallic? No, or what color is
Yeah,
it?
this one is just very dull. I suppose washing it when it had about an inch of dirt on it just directly didn't help. So it's very dull at the moment. But yeah, both bright blue metallic. Probably my favorite color in a Mark II, to be honest, other than Mika or Micah. So,
Lovely. That's around the cars in the shade, but you also have a Mark V GTI as well, somewhere hiding.
yeah, Mark V GTI with a Edition 30 engine setup. So that's off being painted at the moment. That was another bad idea. Just because I had a trailer for a day, I decided to drop it to the painter. I don't know where I come up with this shit, but yeah, I think beer has a lot to answer for in that one. But
Yeah.
yeah, like I say, you can't turn down these opportunities if you have a trailer there ready to go and you're heading that way. I mean, make the most of it.
It's basically stage 2 plus, isn't it now, John?
Stage 2 plus, yeah. I haven't managed to get it on a dyno yet, but I think from all the other people I was speaking to that knew the lad that I think had it initially, it was making something like 350 or 360 brake.
Yeah.
So it's good fun. It's definitely a car I don't want to let go of.
No good in the wet.
No, that's for sure. But the diff helps a little bit. So as you know yourself, like they are great fun.
The way they pull from 60, 70 mile an hour, it's just crazy when they're tuning like that. It just makes no sense.
Really is. No, that's for sure. And you couldn't expect it from like just a 2-liter turbo, I suppose. Just shows you how much further they've come. But great cars.
My first Mark V GTI, I think it was, I couldn't believe the amount of torque Volkswagen had put into the cars over their, like you used to have to really rev the cars in previous models to get torque. And the Mark V, whatever way they built the engines, there was torque now in the engine. So, no. Ordered by Volkswagen with a turbocharging anyway. That's good to see the white monster. Yeah. Good man. Good.
That's it. Have to have it. Like I say, definitely one of my favorites.
You had. Sorry, you're breaking up there a wee bit.
Oh,
I see the MLW hat there. If anybody doesn't know, that's the Midlands VW club that you'd be heavily involved with Paul and all the other guys.
yeah,
You've been involved a good few years with them guys, haven't you?
yeah. Again, 3 or 4, something like that, or even longer, really. But heavily involved, kind of with the show side of things, probably 4+ years. And
Yeah.
yeah, good group of guys, good fun.
Yeah. And it's a good show. Hopefully we'll get it back this year, but we'll see how things go.
Yeah.
If anybody hasn't been, it's usually in May, John, isn't it? It's May.
Holy
End of
hell,
May.
it's that long ago now. Well, it feels like that long ago now. Yeah, May sometime. Yeah, it's all just a blur at this stage.
It'll be the end of the May, I think it usually is. Sure it is, because it's around TT time, I think.
Yes, that sounds right. Yeah.
But no, if you want to go to a good Irish show, look up MLVW and good collection of cars turn up to MLVW. Some of the cars that turn up there, as with the Cork Vag show, that you wouldn't see up north at Dubshed or stuff like that there. And you tend to see more Mark 1s and Mark 2s down at them shows. You would as Dubshed.
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange one. It's obviously we're delighted to have them, and
Yeah.
a lot of lads seem to come to it more so than planning to go to other shows. I don't know if they think this. I don't know. I guess it's kind of chilled out. It always kind of reminded me of like a Castlewellan kind of vibe.
Yeah. Well, I suppose the problem is the distance, first of all, up where Dubshed is, and then the fact that you have to be there for 2 days, accommodation, travel, all the rest of it. So you're fighting that too when you're organising Dubshed, you know.
That's very true.
But
Yeah.
car shows going. You know, what's your favourites? Good memories, stuff like that. Like there's MLB. You know.
Yeah, well, obviously all the southern shows are always great crack. Obviously Dubshed, etc. Always good fun, good friends, just mental weekends. UK shows, the favourite would probably be the likes of Edition 38. That's always a mad weekend.
Yeah.
I still get abuse about that because
It took a hit in recent years, though. I think just there's.
Yeah, I think it just turned into people turning up to try and have a rave tent more so than anything to do with cars. So yeah, that went very downhill in the last couple of years.
I think the enthusiasts have stopped going, or hardcore fellas have stopped going to that there or something. Just last time I was there's this sort of vibe about it, you know.
Yeah, no, I felt exactly the same. It's not what it used to be, that's for sure.
We sound like our fellas here talking like that.
Yeah, the good old days.
Yeah. Have you been to any European shows, John? You been to Worthersea or anything? No?
No, that was actually a plan for this year, but I can't see that happening, so I may try and plan it for 2022, hopefully.
Yeah. There's
love to get to some more of them, and even a couple of the American shows, possibly.
Yeah. Connor, he's been to a good few shows on the East Coast of America, and it just looks and sounds great. All the stories.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. From the stories and the pictures I've seen of his is what kind of made me want to go that way as well.
Yeah, that's cool. It's cool. Just to wrap up things a wee bit. You've told me before you listen to the podcast. You're enjoying it then? What do you think of it?
Love it. It's great. Again, what's that?
Sorry, keep talking. I'm just mumbling here.
Yeah, great. Again, I commute from South Armagh to Dublin daily, so it's great to just stick it on and listen away. And it's like being in a big conversation with friends, to be honest, because I know you guys all pretty well, I think. And it's
a couple of people have commented basically saying it's like sitting in a room having a chat to folks the way we do it. So that's pretty cool.
That's exactly it. Like, yeah, it's like just having a car full of your mates and taking a road trip. You know, it really is. It's a great thing to listen to. So, and some great topics so far. I'm really enjoying them.
Got a few cool ones coming up, and as I've said many times, there's a few local guys that we want to get into the studio for an interview. So we'll have them lined up short. When all this sods off, basically, you know. So
Yeah. Yeah.
we'll not mention the word, you know. Hello?
I lost you there. Oh, you're back.
Freeze there, did I? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll have better things to come, and hope everybody's enjoying stuff like that there. But John, thanks very much. We'll leave it there, and thank you very much for giving up an hour of your time.
Great stuff.
Showing us around your cars. Appreciate it now.
Thanks very much, and yeah, thanks for giving me the opportunity as well. It's good fun.
And keep buying more cars and parts. You know, support the
Yeah.
economy.
Well, I've got another 3 or 4 spaces in the shed. I mean, I may as well fill them.
Good justification. Good justification. Right.
That's it.
All the best.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thanks.
Okay, folks. Big thank you to John for coming on there and showing us around his good collection of cars and having a wee chat with us. Hopefully you enjoyed that, took an hour out of your Saturday evening. It's not as if you have a bar or a night out to go to these days. So this is sort of why we're doing this sort of thing. Just keep car content coming for the listeners and stuff like that there. And hope you like them. And we'll have a few more lined up. And keep listening to the podcast. Like, review, comment, send your questions in. It's good feedback. It keeps the podcast going. If you guys get involved, it makes us feel like we're doing something right anyway. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again real soon. Take it easy.